Welcome to Polyphony Digital Logic, where PD does some things that just PD make sense. They just plain don't make sense, folks. And I'll go ahead and start this out by saying Gran Turismo Sport is looking like it's going to be in a really good game and a really polished game because the beta already is looking pretty cotton picking good. And, well, all of these things I show in this video are one-time occurrences, except for the last thing. And, well, I'm not trying to slander the game, and I'm not trying to make the people feel bad. I'm doing this more for fun. Think of this as, like, the Rockstar Logic series. That's not really meant to slander Grand Theft Auto 5, because that's one of the best-selling games of all time. This isn't meant to slander Gran Turismo because it's the best-selling simulation racing game of all time. So, this is meant for fun, and remember this, and just keep an open mind and enjoy. We'll go ahead and start off here with this first one. The two cars there on the middle and outside are starting to slowly move up the track, so I'll go ahead and try to make a move in there. And it does kind of look like there's a hole for at least my bumper to get in there to say I'm there. And the hole is getting slightly bigger, so I'll go ahead and try to make a move here. Holy snikes, it looks like I'm going to get a job done, actually. Well, I might make a 3-wide pass on the outside here with no consequences whatsoever. Nope. I get hit 10 feet off the track, into the wall, spin around, get stuck, and wait for it. Wait for it. I'm the one who gets penalized for that, not the Corvette who lagged into the other car, causing the biggest lag bump I've seen since the video I've posted. Nah, I'm the one who gets penalized there. Come on, PD. That wreck in general shouldn't have caused my car to fly off track. If anything, that's a slight dent and a help to the Corvette because I give it slightly more momentum. But instead, even though I would have actually helped the other driver, I get kicked off the track to the point of I almost get disqualified. That's just uncalled for, folks. That shouldn't happen in the real driving simulation. Come on now. And sadly, I think I might have something even stupider than that. It's not quite lag. This is actually straight up stupidity that could actually affect quite a few people at any given time. I carry some nice momentum here. I have 2 tires on the rumble strips. It's looking good, folks. I get off there about at the timing line with 2 tires on the track at this point. And looking good, carrying momentum. My lap is looking nice right now. 5.5 tenths of a second penalty. So, remember this, folks. If you have 2 tires on the track, carrying as much momentum as you can with a nice racing line, you get a 5.5 tenths of a second penalty. Even if it gains you like half of a tenth compared to running completely on the track. That's just a rule you're going to have to remember because it's Polyphony Digital Logic. And so that's a rule that's a bit stupid. I'll go ahead and go to an even better example of what should be penalized. I'm going to go into this turn here with as much speed as I possibly can here, purposely carrying that speed, not even attempting to slow down, smash off the wall, gaining probably more than 5.5 tenths compared to braking, and not one penalty in sight. That's brilliant, PD. That's brilliant. Penalize good racecraft and a good racing line, but be perfectly fine with pinging off a wall in the most arcade style possible. That's brilliant, folks. That's brilliant. And on to something else that is somewhat different, but also somewhat related. To go back to the original stupidity there of having 2 tires on the track, but it being a penalty, well, that penalty didn't affect that lap, actually. It affected the next lap. And if you know Brands Hatch, the turns that was quote-unquote a penalty on were almost at the very start of the lap. How do you justify having a penalty on the first part of the lap, but then disqualifying the next lap. Completely disqualifying it. Not penalizing it. Completely having it not exist. There's no justification for that. I don't even think you could cut brands' hats in a way to actually gain time on the last lap. The final straightaway is curved in a way where if you try to cut it, you're carrying less momentum because you have to go through the grass so much. But yet they penalize you for doing something that has no effect on the last lap whatsoever, even if it's a negative effect. Come on now, PD, you can fix this. This is an easy fix. You got it right in all the other Gran Turismos that had time trial. If you mess up in the time after it originally set you up, which is generally the last maybe 10% of the track, then that's what they penalize. That makes sense, because maybe a turn into the last turn, you can carry a different racing line or whatever and carry more momentum. The second turn of the track, no. That has no effect whatsoever. And that shouldn't have been a penalty in the first place, but I've already discussed that. Moving on, kinda sorta. As y'all saw there, I was in the Ford Mustang Group 4 for the whole time there, for the whole 26 miles I did that day to get, I'll go ahead and tell you, there, pause when I get to it, that's a Ford Mustang. I've been in that Ford Mustang the whole time for all of the 26 miles, but yet, even though that's what I've been in the whole time, I get, wait for it, a Group 3 car. Even though I was driving a Group 4 car the entire time of the day. Maybe I just randomly had bad luck, but all but one day I played Gran Turismo Sport closed beta, I've got a Group 3 car every time, and I've still yet to get the Mercedes, which is best on the short tracks, or the Peugeot, which is best all around. I've yet to get either, but yet I've only got Group 3 cars, except for one day, even though probably that's the class I drive the least. Brilliant, Polyphony Digital. That's just brilliant. And in case you're wondering, yes, this is the one that happens more than just once. This is an everyday occurrence. But again, take this with a grain of salt. This is, I guess, random luck. And for the rest of the stuff, I guess it's random occurrences. So just remember, take this for fun. And this has been the first Polyphony Digital Logic. If you want me to do more, I'll try to find more. And honestly, I'll go ahead and say this now, this will not be as long as the Rockstar Logic series, because honestly, Gran Turismo is a very polished game, and there's really not all that much to complain about. Hope you all enjoyed this, and remember, take this for fun, and not as criticism, because this really is just meant to entertain. Yeehaw.